Alright guys, time for another question of the day. We're gonna try to keep this one short because this is my first time filming it, but I keep rambling on. So the question is, what do you think is the worst class in D&D 5e or your least favorite? I'll just say, to make it quick, I'll just say monk is the worst. Just overall, there's some good stuff about the monk, but if I'm comparing it to all the other ones, I'll just say that. I think that's a pretty safe answer, so hopefully the whole D&D community won't hate me. I think at one time the ranger was, in the running, but with all the new optional features and a lot of the new subclasses, I think the ranger is actually one of my favorite classes now. But my least favorite class, I'll say, is probably the fighter. I think they are very good, reliable damage dealers. I'll never be mad that a fighter's on my team. I'll always be happy, especially because I love spellcasters. I'm very biased. I'm a spellcaster at heart. So for me personally, they were never a candidate for this question. No, they're good for absorbing damage. They're good at putting out reliable damage as well. Action surge is great. It has a very high ceiling, but I find it also can have a pretty low floor as well. So if you're really landing those action surges in the prime places and times, sometimes your fighter can feel pretty lackluster. Whereas I feel like the barbarian is a lot more reliable as far as the reckless attack. If you take great weapon master, you just can't be stopped. So I would say the barbarian is is more one-dimensional than the fighter, but I think they also deliver on that one dimension more. I think they can take even more physical punishment because of the bigger hit die, because of the resistance to damage, especially if you're a totem barbarian and you choose the bear, you're just not dying. But yeah, I think. And even range, it's I would choose a ranger over a fighter, because even though they get those extra attacks and get action surge, making up to maybe 6 range attacks, which could go pretty crazy, I just feel the ranger with all their extra spell casting, I think they have an optional feature now where they just turn invisible for practically around, so that's free advantage on attacks. That was introducing Tasha's for the ranger. So all these new features that really just raise the stock of a ranger up super high. I think that there's compelling subclasses for the fighter. I think if you choose a fighter in general, you're still going to be effective. You're going to have a good time, especially just hitting things hard. But I think overall they're the most one-dimensional. Maybe next to barbarian, I put barbarian more one-dimensional, but more effective. I think almost every other class is just a little bit is more unique and covers more of a range. Even the rogue, I mean, we all it's one-dimensional in the sense that it's a skill monkey, you're sneaking around and stuff, but there's not really a skill monkey like the rogue, right? With its expertise, not being able to eventually roll below a 10 on anything's proficient in. Yeah, we have the bard, but the bard is also a skill monkey, and it's kind of in a different light actually. And between all the full casters, just different schools of magic, or not schools, but how clerics have their spell list, the different spell lists, different things like meta magic, or different how many spells one can know, prepared spells and learned spells, all that sort of stuff. I think there's enough variation in the kinds of magic that these full casters can cast that I would say that they all have a very different kind of primary role oftentimes that you can kind of see, but they can also branch out and fulfill many roles. So yeah, I gotta go with the fighter. Please don't hate me, guys. It's just my least favorite. I'm not even calling fighter the worst. I think they're very good. I would never complain if a fighter was in my party, because I'm probably going to be a squishy sorcerer, so please, fighter, please join my party. But with that, guys, how about you let me know what you think the worst class in D&D 5e is, and the least favorite one, or your least favorite one. With that, yeah, thanks again for all the support, and yeah, Joshua signing off.